Hello everyone! Today is especially for the parents na nakakapansin na yung anak nila kayang kumanta ng nursery rhymes or magre-recite ng alphabet pero wala pang ibang masyadong words na alam to communicate, as in yung masabi yung gusto nila or yung nararamdaman nila. This can mean several things, but it is a high possibility na yung anak ninyo ay isang Gestalt learner. I usually try not to talk about things that sound too technical kasi ayokong ma-overwhelm kayo or ma-bore kayo. Kaya sobrang kinilig ako when I received this request a few days ago. Sabi niya, "Hello Teacher K, I would love to see a video po ninyo explaining about Gestalt language development and how we parents can approach yung language development ng little one. Salamat po." But since you asked, I would love to talk about Gestalt, and it is actually the theory behind some of the things na napag-usapan ko na, like echolalia. Kaya tara, usap tayo. Let's get talking. Hi! Kung ngayon ka lang dito, I'm Teacher K, and I'm a certified speech-language pathologist. As always, let's start with the definition first. So, Gestalt is actually derived from a German word called Gestaltqualität, and there's no direct English translation. But what it basically says is that the whole of something, anything, is greater than the sum of its parts. This started with studies on perception, or how we receive all the information or the stimuli in our environment. So that's how we see, hear, smell, taste, feel things. So para mas maging klaro, I'll give you an example. So if I show you this picture, those who are familiar might immediately say, "Gong Yu." And for those who are not familiar, baka sasabihin nila, "Oh, it's the picture of a very handsome Korean man." Pero diba, it's not as likely na kapag pinakita ko tong picture na to, ang una mong sasabihin ay, it's a picture of eyes, a nose, a mouth, etc. Alam mo na agad na it's a face. And so we perceive something as a whole rather than its parts. This is the very simplified basis of how it is to perceive in a Gestalt. Now, what about in terms of language or communication? So, Gestalt learners will often perceive things in chunks or in wholes rather than in parts. So, the typical patterns of language development, katulad ng nakikita natin sa milestones, ay ang unang matututunan ng mga bata ay sounds muna, tapos i-combine nila yon into words, and then they will combine the words into phrases or sentences. So, Gestalt learners, they will learn the chunks of phrases or whole sentences first. So minsan, instead of having first words, Gestalt learners will have first chunks na hindi natin agad ma-identify as first words. So for example, instead of the first word being something simple like ma or mama, yung naririnig mo sa anak mo ay uuwawawa, uuwawawa, pero inuulit-ulit niya to every time nakikita niya si mama. Now, why does this happen? And it just sounds like babbling. Ngayon pa lang sinusubukang sabihin ng bata ay, "Do you love mama?" na lagi mong sinasabi sa kanya kapag nagtitinginan kayo. Pero dahil at let's say 1-year-old, when first words are expected, hindi pa developed yung oral structure ng baby to produce connected speech or yung maraming sounds na sunod-sunod, nagtutunog babbling lang siya. Ngayon, kung balikan naman natin yung example ko sa intro about reciting the alphabet or singing nursery rhymes, a lot of people might say, "Oh, galing na nga yan eh, marami na yung nasasabi." But we have to look at if lahat ba ng nasasabi niya ay naiintindihan niya individually. Sometimes, even if marami silang sinasabi, it can only actually mean one thing pala to them, one concept. And all those individual words, hindi pala niya alam ang ibig sabihin. So now what we have to understand about Gestalt learners is that we have to help them be able to break down those chunks, because kung hindi nila yun ma-break down into individual elements, mahihirapan sila to make their own messages to communicate. Masa-stuck sila sometimes with just using those chunks of information. So other examples may include a child who every time makakakita siya ng kotse, ang sinasabi niya, "Ready, get, set, go!" So ready, get, set, go to the child actually might mean just the car. It doesn't mean that individually naiintindihan niya yung ready, get, set, and yung go. So kapag tinanong mo siya, kunyari aalis kayo ng bahay, are you ready? Hindi naman ibig sabihin alam niya yung ibig sabihin ng ready in that context. This can also apply to how they understand things. Maaaring naiintindihan nila yung isang familiar chunk na lagi niyong ginagamit. For example, okay, get your bear. Get your bear. Every time sasabihin mo yung get your bear, kukunin nga niya yung kanyang bear. Pero the next time, sabihin mo namang get your ball. But every time maririnig niya yung, let's say, the starter phrase, i-assume na agad niyang, get your bear. So, bear pa rin ang ibibigay niya sa'yo. Kahit na ang sinabi mo, get your ball.
Break it down like this.
Many autistic and hyperlexic kids are Gestalt learners. If you look back on my episodes on autism and hyperlexia, mapapansin nyo na yung mga characteristics nun may be rooted in the Gestalt perception. If we notice na mabilis ma-overwhelm yung isang autistic individual, so for example, auditory information. So kunyari kinakausap mo siya, pero dahil na-perceive niya all sounds as a whole, nahihirapan siya to filter na I need to only focus on teacher's voice. Sabay-sabay niyang na-perceive yung mga tunog ng electric fan, nagpupukpok sa labas, yung tahol ng aso, and things like that. So why is this important to know? Because you know that they receive all stimuli as a whole, it will be nice if you can remove all the other distractors na maaaring makahinder sa kanyang learning. If you want to know more about sensory perception or sensory processing problems, you may go back to my episode 59 on stimming. Next is a clarification to what I just said. There are many autistics and hyperlexics that are Gestalt learners, but it doesn't necessarily mean na kapag Gestalt learner ay disordered or disabled na yung bata. No, even neurotypical individuals can be Gestalt learners, and they have their own sets of strengths. But children who are Gestalt learners really do need our help to understand all the information that they are receiving. Now, as always, your favorite part of the video, paano ngayon kung ganito nga yung anak natin? Paano kung we are dealing with Gestalt learners? Here are some tips for you to consider.
Break it down like this.
Number 1, the very first one is look at your screen time habits. So it's possible, especially for those na mahilig, excessive repetition of nursery rhymes and alphabet and things na napapanood nila sa mga videos, sa TV, sa gadgets. It may be a sign of screen addiction or screen dependency. Please look back on my episodes 21 and 22 about screen time and how to manage this better. And I've also made so many infographics. I'll put the links to my Instagram below. So it is possible that your child is a Gestalt learner, pero there is the factor of screen time. And if they are overstimulated, and because watching videos is not a two-way interaction, hindi nila ma-figure out how to break it down and how to use them more properly for communication.
Break it down like this.
Next is to pay attention to the chunks that they can say, because that is a good starting off point. You may want to look at my video on echolalia, that's episode 33, because I already gave tips there on how to manage kapag may mga inuulit na chunks yung mga anak ninyo. Which segues into my next tip is paying attention to your own chunks. Paano ba natin kinakausap yung bata? Maybe we can work on giving them more workable chunks. Yung chunks na alam mong magagaya nila at magagamit nila functionally. So for example, naglalaro kayo ng game. Instead of saying something like, okay, it's your turn, tapos gagayahin ng bata, it's your turn, hindi your turn. That means kung sinabi niya yun sa akin, is it my turn? So hindi na siya functional. So try to think about the scripts that you say para magaya nila and magiging meaningful sa kanila. So instead, you can say, kapag turn na nung bata, sabihin mo, it's my turn. Para masasabi niya, it's my turn. And you only say that kapag turn niya. Ideally and eventually, magigets niya yon na every time turn niya, ang sasabihin niyang, it's my turn.
Break it down like this.
Next thing you might want to try is after you create a chunk, you can change little parts of that chunk every time. So kunyari, you are working on the child learning the bear. So you can try switching up the different actions that you do with the bear. But the chunk the bear is always repeated. For example, let's hug the bear. Hug the bear. I hug the bear. Let's press the bear. I am pressing the bear. Let's kiss the bear. Kiss the bear. So because you are doing different things with the bear, eventually magiget niya, oh, but it's all with this one. And you are teaching the child to break it down and lalabas na ito pala yung bear.
Break it down like this.
Now, what about kids who like to sing nursery rhymes? You can take the concepts in the nursery rhymes and teach them one by one. So, for example, yung alam ng bata ay, itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Let's pretend, ang gusto mong ituro ay yung concept ng itsy bitsy para makita niya kung ano ang concept ng small and big. Next time, kakantahin mo sa kanya, kunyari, habang kumakain kayo, meron kang spoon, tapos maglalagay ka ng sobrang konti lang na food. Tapos sabihin mo, this is an itsy bitsy subo. Konti lang. Itsy bitsy subo. Tapos next time naman, lalagyan mo ng malaking heap of food. Sabihin mo naman, this is a giant subo. Giant subo. Also, try to give them a lot of word associations when you're teaching it to them. I teach that in episodes 54 and 55.
Break it down like this.
And there are also studies that show that a lot of Gestalt learners will also learn best with movement. So give them a lot of hands-on experiences para may incorporate nila yung anong ginagawa nila with the words that they are saying. It will be easier for them to break down the chunks of information kapag nasasabayan ito ng particular action or object na ipakita nyo sa kanila. Also, give a lot of visual cues because a lot of them din daw are very visual learners because nga they learn and see the big picture rather than parts. It will help if you show them a lot of books. If you read books together, you can point out part-whole relationships like a house has windows and a door. It has different rooms like a kitchen, a bedroom, a garage, etc.
Break it down like this.
Kung nakakapagbasa na sila, I also have this favorite technique where I write down separate words in a message in different pieces of paper. Tapos makikita nila na all those words can be separated. So that's a visual cue that the chunk of information that they once thought was just one thing, I subdivided into smaller parts. So that also teaches them part-whole relationships. And then, when you can break down, for example, daddy is eating a sandwich. Magpapakita mo sa kanya kung daddy, yun si daddy. Eating is, ito ang eating, and a picture of a sandwich.
Break it down like this.
When you are giving them instructions, so unlike other kids na mas okay sa kanila yung step by step, for example, magdodrawing kayo ng tree. Yung ibang kids, magsisimula kayo sa let's draw a trunk, and then let's draw the leaves. For Gestalt learners, it might be helpful if may maipakita na kayong end product. Makikita niya, yan pala yung patutunguhan natin. At sa kanya yon i-break down. And there's so much more about Gestalt theory, but I'll end this here for now. I hope that you found this helpful, and if you did, please don't forget to like and share. And if you haven't yet, just click that red subscribe button and join our community here. You can also get in touch with me on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok at Teacher K Talks. And hanggang sa muli, happy talking and mabuhay!